This was not a hot-blooded crime of passion. Consider this: a revolver holds.
The theme of today's film is the story of a man who was acquitted into jail.
One for each of your victims. So be it.
As many of you know, today is Shawshank Redemption.
Consider this: 4 bullets per victim. Not 6 shots fired, but 8.
Young and talented bank executive Andy is jailed for life in Shawshank prison on charges of killing his wife and her mistress.
Each of them again.
But that was not actually true.
Per lover.
One day he found Red, who can get everything ever he wants. So he decided to meet him to be needed help. And Andy demanded him to get hammer, but Red was dumbfounded because the walls of Shawshank prison were very thick, and it will took unimaginable time to make pathway through a hammer.
Smells sweeter than most. Is that right? What do you think? I'll tell you the truth. I had made up my mind.
Anyway, he got that, and just wrote Red. I reckon Andy merely wanted to write Red. Just kidding. And even though he had freaks who were bothering him, he held on to it with hope.
You fight better than me.
One day, while working, Andy hears the boss's pet peeve about taxes.
What are you Jimmy staring at?
And instead of handling it, Andy asked Red and his colleagues to give them a beer. This caused Andy to become familiar with Red
Came to pass. That
and
on the
Red's
second to last
friend.
day of the job, the convict crew that tarred the plate factory roof in the spring of '49 wound up sitting in a row at 10 o'clock in the morning, drinking icy cold Bohemia-style beer, courtesy of the hardest screw that ever walked a turn at Shawshank State Prison.
Drink up while it's cold, ladies.
The colossal prick even managed to sound.
After a few years, Andy's skills are spread out in jail, and he becomes an accountant who virtually manages all of the prison's guards and the warden of prison. On the other hand, the group who raped Andy is punished by the boss, and Andy, who considered pretty, works at the library.
Absolutely.
One day, Tommy, the novice criminal, enters jail.
Having placed your
Tommy provides evidence to prove Andy's innocence, and asks the warden please clear his innocence. However, the warden worried that his slush funds would be caught. So, he kills Tommy and puts Andy in solitary confinement. And finally, Andy decided to carry out the plan.
Yards.
In fact,
That's the
Andy
length
didn't
of
get a
5
hammer to
football
write
fields.
the name. He got one
Just
to
shy
dig
of
through the
half a
wall.
mile.
And finally, the hole in the wall is large enough to be connected to an external sewer. And he escapes and enjoys his freedom. And Andy steals money from the warden. It actually deceived the warden. Meanwhile, the warden committed suicide, and the officers who evaded taxes are sent to jail. Over time, Red is paroled, but he continues to feel he would rather be sent back to jail
Get busy living
like other
or
parolees.
get busy dying.
When he was in confusion
That's
to
goddamn
suicide,
right.
Red remembers the message that Andy had asked to
For the
look
second
for
time
when
in my
he
life.
left jail.
I'm guilty of committing a crime. Parole violation. Of course, I doubt they'll toss up any roadblocks for that. Not for an old crook like me. Fort Hancock, Texas.
And Red follows it to a small town in Mexico.
I find I'm so excited I can barely sit still or hold a thought in my head. I think it's the excitement only a free man can feel. A free man at the start of a long journey whose conclusion is uncertain. I hope I can make it across the border. I hope to see my friend and shake his hand. I hope the Pacific is as blue as it has been in my dreams.
The two are reunited with their smiles and faces. That is all about the movie. We also want to achieve them when we have them. Like purpose, like our dream, like our hope. But we always think we can't because we reckon many factors interrupt our dream. But also during difficult time, like in the film, Andy finally achieves what he wants. And we should learn that.